everyone. Welcome to another episode of Coast Connections. I'm Elizabeth Hines, and I have the absolute pleasure of welcoming a local Formula 2 race driver to our set today. And you probably won't believe who it is when you meet this person, but let's just say her mother had to drive her to the studio today because she still has her N from the graduated licensing program. Please welcome champion race driver Nicole Havrda. Welcome, Nicole.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I think it's ironic that your mom had to drive you to the studio today.
She just wanted to come support me. I could have driven since I have my N, but just wanted to have her support me. And
Absolutely, and we have your mom here in the studio with us, and it's very nice to see her and having her enjoy this interview with her daughter, world champion.
Yeah, for sure.
The trophy that we have in front of us, let's just let viewers know straight up that you were the first female to win this trophy in Southern California recently. What championship was that, Nicole?
So this one was from the Formula Pro USA Championship. It's in the Formula 3 car. And it was definitely a hassle to get it. It was a lot of hard work, a lot of time, and just a lot of work, as I said, and just putting in so much time and just like practicing every day, basically. Mm-hmm. It's just.
Let's talk about how a young female gets into this crazy, wild, risky, but very safe world of formula racing. Nicole, you started, I think, kart racing when you were 12 years old after you decided not to pursue swimming.
Yeah, I wanted to be an Olympic swimmer originally. I really wanted to make it there, and I just had full focus on that and as well as schooling. And then just all of a sudden, my dad, he was into Formula 1. He wasn't like too serious into it. He just wanted to watch it and stuff. So we went for a road trip through Europe. And he decided we'll stop in Austria to watch the F1 Grand Prix. So we go, we watch it. Right as I get there, I fall in love with it immediately. And I actually asked my dad, I was like, Dad, hey, can you get me there? And he was like, oh, do you want to look closer? Because we were just standing on the grass watching. And I was like, no, I want to drive that. Wow. So it was like, that, and then we went back to the hotel and I started contacting people, like, Saratoga Speedway and then local racetracks and stuff just to get into racing. Yeah. And then I did a driving school and as well I got into karting. So I did a lot of karting all across Canada and America as well, so.
Wow, and you started at 12 years old.
Yes.
I've got a picture of you here in your little jumpsuit, or driving suit, pardon me, at 12 years old.
Yeah, my first race suit and helmet too. Oh. So it's definitely a memorable race suit, even though it was like a little too big for me at the time.
Yeah, you probably don't fit into it anymore.
Probably not. Too tall.
Yeah. Now, Nicole, there is so much involved in becoming a world champion car racer. It takes a village. Now you've got an incredible support team with your family, with your parents, and also with your sponsors. So we'll talk about that. How does this happen for a young 17-year-old girl that you can actually compete on the world stage like this? So let's first talk about your mom and dad and how they're supporting you through this and how you lived about 200 days a year in a motorhome doing your race circuit.
Yeah, holy cow. The behind the scenes, no one sees it, but it's like, it's there. Like, I have my dad, my brother, and my mom that support me like crazy. We have a family business, so we do cabinetry. And so they work their butts off. And when my mom and dad and I are away, we take the motorhome, we go to California to do practicing and stuff, and as well racing. My brother actually takes care of the shop. So, because there has to be someone to run it. So I'm so thankful to have him there because, without him, we probably wouldn't be able to do this. So just having him as well as, my mom, she's a huge support. I think a really big part emotionally and as well like food, of course, and like just being there, right? And then my dad, big part, he does literally everything. From, sending a billion emails to everyone, which is a lot of work, which is crazy to think about. Like, before I started racing, I never thought it would be like this, that racing is basically 10%. And then the other 90% is like, sending emails, finding teams, finding sponsors, which is a really, really big part. Mm-hmm. And as well as everything else, like just spending so much time, like marketing your name, doing social media. it's insane. My brother has, my dad has a big part in that, just doing that. And he like spends, like he has 2 businesses, he calls it, because he has the cabinetry shop as well as, you know, we call it NHR for Nicole Havrda Racing. So it's kind of, you know, we have another business to take care of. And it's just a whole, I would say it's like a whole family kind of thing, because we're so close, as well as we trust each other so much. Like, of course, if you hire someone, you don't always trust them fully because they're not like, you know, they're not that close to you. So like having your family part of it, it's very, as well as the connection. And, you know, like we're trying to keep thinking about more things to do because we want to keep growing together, even though it's just my name, but we want to keep growing and make it a bigger name, basically.
What a lovely family bond that you're fostered over these years of racing. You're so privileged to have such a supportive family and team, and your brother there on the home front. Nicole, you're a minor, you're 17 years old. Where does school fit into this?
So many people ask me. So I just do online school. It's impossible to go to school. I'll go to school sometimes to meet like teachers. It's funny because I go to school once a year. So just to meet like the principal and talk to him about how it's going in graduation and all that stuff. Because I want to graduate in the school just to have that experience of like, I graduated, right, to get the diploma and all that. I don't know if I'm going to be here, so we'll see if that works out. But it'd be cool to, you know, put the dress on or the race suit and go up there and get the diploma. I was thinking about if I should wear a race suit or a dress, but
definitely the race suit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that incredible suit for a minute with all your different sponsors on. But that is a fireproof suit.
Yes.
Yes. Tell us about some of the other safety features and your amazing helmet here.
Yeah, so it's all fireproof. I'm not wearing it right now, but we wear underwear. It's funny because we call it underwear. It's really not underwear. It's just what you wear underneath. It's also fireproof, so you have basically 2 layers. And then it just basically protects you even more. And also have the patches, of course, like the series sponsors. It depends which suit you're wearing and what series you're doing.
Sure.
Because it comes with different patches. Of course, all the series, as well as my sponsors as well. So Colonial Countertops, Faro, JMF, and all these things. So it's, you know, a mixture of just everything. And also the colors. I did it for a sponsor, these colors, because, you know, as you get a sponsor, they sometimes direct you, I want the suit to be this color, or I want the car to be this color.
A shout out to the sponsor. Who wanted the colors?
Faro, actually. So
Okay.
it was, it was part of his kind of deal, and he wanted those colors. And I'm not sure. We'll see what happens next year. And then, of course, my beautiful helmet. It's definitely a beautiful kind of art, what they do, the painters and stuff. And, you know, I didn't ask for it, but on top of it, there's a bow tie. So it's for women in racing. So the bow is kind of like a nice little touch, which they added. And then the Canadian flag, of course, for Canada, and then my website. So it's just a nice kind of pink. You know, I wanted to stand out because I know a lot of people have helmets that are very kind of minimalistic and like you can't really see them around the track, but pink you can see.
Yeah,
so
pink you can see.
That's what I wanted, and just to.
We've got a really good shot of you just starting for a race. I think you're in a yellow car, and you've got your pink helmet on, and your eyes. You just have this most steely focus in your eyes. As you just, you know, the determination, the focus is just incredible to see that in a young person.
Yeah.
But tell us how you train for this. Like, how do you learn to drive like this? I mean, you're still learning the graduated licensing program in a regular vehicle. How do you learn to drive a sports car, and where do you practice?
So it's definitely challenging because it's unlike soccer or whatever that you have to go to the field and play every single day. It's not like that. I remember in swimming, I would literally swim every day for whatever it is, 2 hours. And so you're constantly doing that sport. But me, I'm not doing that sport every single day. I am either doing every single day, I'm going to the gym because it is so insanely physical. And also like mental stuff, and then as well as going on a simulator, which is like it's like a replica of driving the car, but it's not the same. But it's definitely a help, like if you want to learn how to do the tracks or whatever. So it's a mixture of these kind of things. Like I'm very fortunate because of, you know, COVID, you couldn't go to the gym. So we have a gym at home. So I worked out every single day. I still do. And just because it's so physical. Like I remember the first day driving the car, I just, like my arms were jello. I was like, the next day I was like, they just hurt so bad. I was like, okay, no, I can't keep going. And I had calluses all down my hands, and like it was basically just almost blood, and it's just so physical.
Even through your gloves?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
especially the gloves, because when you have the gloves on and it's really hot, it sweats. So the fabric starts moving and you're holding the steering wheel, and it's like, you know, you got a big patch of fabric right there. It creates callus. So it's just really physical and all these kind of things.
Nicole, let's take viewers into the driver's seat with you. You've provided us with this very good piece of video of you behind the wheel actually doing the track. I don't know what speed you're going here, but it looks like at least 200K. What's the top speed you've ever reached?
250, 260 kilometers per hour. So it's, but you get so used to it. Like if I'm doing that on the street, like with other people around, you're not used to it. It's fast. But on the track, it's like, come on, let's go faster. Like you're just used to it, and it's kind of like natural.
And when we look at that, like the way that you're clutching that steering wheel, I mean, the focus that you have, what is going on in your head, Nicole, as you're doing this drive? What's going on for you as the driver?
What I can improve. So like every single lap you're driving, you keep thinking about how you can improve. Can I hit this curb more? Can I add more throttle? Can I get on the brakes later? All these kind of things. Like, it's kind of funny because I was talking to my mom about this today morning on the way here. She was like, do you talk to yourself in your helmet? I was like, no, I can't unless I'm telling myself something motivational. Like sometimes if I'm like kind of in a bad position, or like something happened or I messed up or whatever, I'll talk to myself and say like, come on, Nicole, you can do this. Come on, just get back into it, get focused and all this stuff. But I told her, I don't talk to myself in my helmet because, you know, when you're doing a marathon, when you're running, you are breathing heavily, you're exhausted. And then when you're talking out loud, you're just wasting so much energy. So I'm like, you know, in my head, I'm talking, of course, and I'm saying like what to do, and then like how many laps I've left, and then also talking on the radio, which is like a very minimal thing. It's just obviously there to like tell you, they're telling you what to do and all this stuff. But it's definitely interesting, the thought process. But me, I have it so subconscious that I don't even remember what I say, or I don't remember what I think, or I don't remember what I do. So it's kind of, it's like, yeah, your body just does it. So
you're so in the moment, so in the moment.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your body and the physicality of this, because you mentioned the upper body strength that this takes and the strength of your legs. I never thought of that as a race car driver, but talk to us about how hard it is to handle this car, and does it have power steering?
Yeah, so basically my best example for this is literally sit on your butt and take like a 10-pound weight, like the circular weights you find in the gym, and hold it up. Just hold it up and see how long you can hold it. Because it is so physical, like you got the shoulders, really, really physical, and as well as the arms and the forearms. And it's weird because it's all the little muscles that you don't usually work out. So like you think it's the bicep, but it's not the bicep, because it's those little ones around it or behind it. And as well, it is crazy how much neck strength it takes. And it's crazy how to find that muscle to work out. Like you have to really figure out which muscle it is. And then as well as like when you're braking, you have to really work out that one leg, because you have to put a certain amount of pressure on the brake pedal to actually come to a full stop at that point that you're braking at. So you have to really work out. It's kind of a joke we say, because you only have to work out your left leg because you brake with your left leg and the right leg is just the gas pedal. But obviously we work out both legs. But it is crazy physically and as well as mentally. And it's just a mixture, you know. So I would say a lot of sports are really similar because, you know, swimming, very physical, and all these things. And
the swimming discipline, when you were doing that, has obviously been applied to this sport as well. So that has set you up very nicely for this. And the upper body strength, because, you know, a powerful swimmer has a lot of muscles.
It's a big part, actually.
Yeah. The high-paced, high-stress, loud, focused world of Formula 2 driving can be very hard on you mentally as well. How do you balance yourself? How do you sort of come down from that after a race? What tools or techniques are you doing to help with your mental health and wellness as well?
Well, so actually driving a Formula 3, it's just like trying to use everything that you have around you. I was told when I was younger, just literally take everything in like you're a sponge, because you want to absorb. Like, of course, if someone tells you something not like helpful or whatever, you can get rid of that. But it's important to take everything in and just use it if it's helpful, because you got so many important people around you sometimes. Like at the racetrack, like you meet so many people, and very like accomplished people too, like accomplished drivers. Like I was at the other day, I was at Virginia International Raceway in Virginia, and there's this important lady that actually came to me. She came to visit, and her name's Lynn St. James. I met her a year ago at the same track, because we were doing a documentary, and she was there part of it, and she wanted to meet me again this year. So we were talking, and she actually helped me a lot mentally, because I was going through a big crash of mine, and mentally it was very hard for me to get over it. So we actually talked about it, and she was telling me, because she actually had a big crash as well. Her car lit on fire in Indy, in the IndyCar race. And, you know, just like getting over that and out of it. And because mentally it can stop you. I know a lot of drivers that have gone through a big crash and they quit like the next day, because it's so hard to get over it. Like imagine like you hit a wall going 150 kilometers per hour, like a concrete one, especially, like you're shaking up and the car is shaking up, and, you know, it's just getting back into the seat and going through it all again is, you know, definitely
Nicole,
difficult.
if you don't mind, and I know your mom's here too, but can you tell us about that crash? I don't want to, you know, trigger you or anything in case you're still getting over it, but we've got some pretty graphic photos here of that crash that you had. How long ago was that, and what were the circumstances around that?
So that was in June this year. So
About 4 months ago.
yeah, it's definitely been kind of so after the crash, the next day I had a race as well, and I really needed to that race to be in this championship, to keep going and to be in the points and stuff, because I was leading, and if I won that race that weekend, I would have won the championship that weekend, but I had to do it in another month to get the trophy. So that day I had the crash. It was insane. The team worked till 3 a.m. just to put the car back together, because you could see pictures. The whole one side was perfect. The other side was just like, it was gone. Like you couldn't see anything. Like it didn't look like a car.
Did you hit the wall, or what happened?
Yeah, I hit a concrete wall, avoiding another driver. It was a qualifying lap, and I was on my fast lap. And usually as a driver, you move over off the racing line, and I was on the racing line. I didn't see him. He was going half my speed, and he was kind of moving over to let me by, but he moved over too late. So I avoided him, and then I just hit the concrete wall on the side.
What speed were you traveling when that happened?
150 kilometers per hour. So it's,
Yeah.
you know, like, and then you hit it sideways, which I was fortunate to hit it sideways, because if I went straight in, I probably would have lost, you know, my legs or something.
And because of your helmet, your suit, your seat belts, your harnesses, everything, what injuries did you sustain?
I believe, so when I got out, of course, the medics and stuff were there. So they tested me for concussion and stuff. And I think I had a little minor concussion, because, like, you know, you get headaches, you kind of think a little, like you're a little dizzy and stuff. But when it happened, I actually closed my eyes. So it's actually, it feels like an eternity when you're actually crashing, because I closed my eyes and I was like, is it over yet? And then, of course, you get the impact, and it's interesting. So the seat, it's a custom seat, of course, and it has these little foam beads in it. It looks like packing beads. So it actually takes in the compression. So it has the form of your body, and as the compression hits, it just compresses the seat instead of your body, of course. So I actually had up top, my upper vertebrae actually hurt, like at the top. So I went to the hospital to get an X-ray to see if it's fine. Thank goodness they were fine. It's just like a bruise. So it was all good. That was
Wow.
literally my only type of injury. So.
And you got back in the car the next day. Where does this courage, guts, determination come from, Nicole? I mean, that's epic that you would be able to do that, like just mentally as well.
Well,
How was that for you, stepping back in?
mentally, I was definitely not there.
Yeah.
My back hurt like crazy. So I was driving around and my back hurt. So I was like basically crying every corner, like trying to breathe and stuff because your back hurts, so you can't breathe too clearly. Mentally, I think I was just there because I wanted to continue this championship, and I knew that if I didn't do this race, I would be kind of lower in the championship points, and I'd have a tougher time to get back up there. As well as the team worked so hard on the car. My parents were as well there, you know, till 3 a.m. helping on the car as well. So, you know, I didn't want to let them down and say, hey, I can't drive today. So I was just like, you know, I'm going to do it. I'm going to sit there. I'm going to go drive, get some points. If I do good or not, I actually finished P3 that day. So it was, you know, pretty good. And then just also pushing myself because I actually posted a video on Instagram about the crash, and I got a lot of nice comments and saying like, you know, it's really good you drove the next day because you got back into it mentally.
Yeah.
Because if you don't drive the next day and you give it a month, you'll go back into the car the next month and you won't be able to drive.
Yeah.
So it because it affects you so much. So I was actually happy to get into it and just kind of go through it mentally and just kick it out of my head and, you know.
Well, we're happy that you're okay, that you're obviously very healthy and strong. And talk to us about this incredible trophy that you won during that race session.
Yeah, so
You were the first female to win this.
yeah, first female ever. I was, you know, this trophy just has so many, you know, ups and downs, and like, you know, it went to literally the last race where I had to finish the last race. Because the day before my last race to get the trophy, I had a mechanical failure. My wheel just like, because of the crash, one of the bearings weren't holding in properly. So it just kind of, the wheel during the race fell off. Like it didn't fall off, but it kind of went to a different angle. So I had to retire that one race. So it literally came down to the last minute.
Wow.
Because before I was like 50 points in the lead, and then it came down to 7 points in the lead. So I was like, I have to just finish this race and then I get it. So
congratulations. And there you are on the podium with your support team and everybody that helped you come to the finish line. What a moment for you, and what a moment for Canada, because nobody else in Canada has won this, no other woman.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is tremendous, absolutely tremendous.
Thank you.
And I just want to, you know, mention too that what you're doing is very risky, but it's all very calculated risk. Safety, safety, safety comes first, and you're living proof of that as you sit here today. How many continents or countries have you raced in, Nicole? You've been around the world, my friend.
Yes, I've definitely been. A few, definitely a few.
Yeah, and you're just heading over to India in a couple of weeks for another race there.
Yeah.
In 35, 40 degree heat.
Yeah, it's really, really weird to go from this kind of heat, temperature, this coldness, I mean, you know, and then go back to, you know, 35 degree heat, because your body is like all over the place. It's like, you know, just moving around, and then also the jet lag is definitely painful. I came back and I was actually waking up at like, you know, 5 in the, how early was it? I think my mom was like super upset. I came to their bed and I was like, come on, wake up. Do you want breakfast in bed? And then she was like, no, I'm sleeping. I'm not on the time zone you're on. So it's definitely hard to go through all the time zones. Your body gets messed up. And but it's cool to go, you know, see India as well, and to represent Canada there.
And is there prize money involved in this, or is it just you get points enough to enter the next category? How does it work?
So, complicated situation. It's definitely not like football or soccer that you just kind of make it through. You get the teams to call you up. It's not like that. You have to get sponsorships, and sponsorships basically run you, or not in my case, but a rich family, which is definitely a big part of racing. Like you see some Formula One drivers, they have a very wealthy family, and they get children to Formula One, basically.
Yeah.
So my case is that I have to get lots of sponsorships, and they basically help me a lot to get to wherever I want to go. You do not, it depends which races and series, but you do not get prize money in my series. But if I won the championship in the other series that I was doing last year and the series that I'm doing this year, for next year, sorry, for 2024, if I win that championship, I will get a seat in Indy Next, which is basically right under IndyCar. So it's like the level under that. So they're definitely pushing for more, they call them scholarships that you can move up and they'll pay for that seat. So, but otherwise there's no prize money, nothing like that. It's definitely a tougher sport. So you get paid either through social media or sponsorships. So.
And also, Mercedes-Benz Canada has very special interest in you. They're making a documentary film with you and 2 other female drivers from Canada, and that's going to be released in, I think, February of next year, 2024.
I believe so, yeah.
So you're already making it on the big screen.
Yeah.
So where does this racing road? Where are you hoping this will take you, Nicole, in the future?
As far as possible, you know, whether it be I'm starting something on YouTube with my brother. We're starting to work on a car and just do a lot of YouTube and social media and stuff, and also become, you know, the professional driver where I can be doing this as a career and getting paid for it and doing something that I love. And you know, I think I mentioned to you that I do not believe, like, I can't see myself doing like a normal job where I'm just sitting there, you know, a cashier or something. I need to keep doing something. You know, I have to do something exciting, something that I love, and something interesting and different, you know, unique, because, you know, doing something basic and is just, I can't sit still. So doing something cool is...
Nicole, we've reached the finish line here. We've got to pump the brakes.
I like that.
What a delight to have you here. And thank you so much for sharing your insights into this world that few of us know about or will ever be able to participate. You're a really shining example of determination, grit, guts, and humility. You're just a lovely person. And I think your upbringing shows in the young lady that you are now. So kudos to your parents as well for the wonderful young woman they've raised. And watch for Nicole on the Formula driving circuit, because yes, you probably will see her soon on Formula One, Indy racing. 17-year-old from Comox, BC. If you'd like to be a sponsor, we've got Nicole's website up here. Any sponsorship is very welcome. And thank you for joining us here on this episode of Coast Connections. Be safe out there. Don't do 250K. Leave that up to our friend Nicole. Thanks for joining us.